What do you want me to talk about?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tommy Green, former editor of the Mobile Beacon, Mobile, Alabama. I'm in Africatown in Mobile today, and I was talking to Miss Ruth Ballard, who was talking about her life here living in Africatown. And so now I turn it over to Miss Ruth Ballard.
Okay, I have lived in Plateau, Africatown all of my life. When I was born and reared, it was Plateau. Now it's Africatown. My mother and father lived across the street. Where's the home house? There was 7 of us, 3 boys, 4 girls with myself. I grew up in the midst of segregation. I went to the Mobile County Training School from grade 1 through grade 12. The very best school ever was, in my opinion. Our teachers at that time took a vested interest in us. They not only taught us at school, but they taught us away from school. It was a joy having teachers that parented us when we were away from home. Our teachers, most times, they didn't send us home from school. They walked us home from school. I had a very nourishing upbringing. My father was a minister, Reverend W.H. Taylor. He pastored Little Rock Baptist Church, Axis, Alabama. He pastored Nazarene number 2, that was on First Avenue in Trinity Garden. And that's now Nazarene Full Gospel on Beltline Highway. My father growing up was a community pastor. And during the era that I grew up, if one person in the neighborhood had something, everyone in the neighborhood had something. I guess when we grew up, I guess you could say we had a farm. But at that time, we did not know it was a farm because we had chickens, guineas, geese, we had pigs, cows, you name it. And we had it, and when my dad would kill a cow, or if he would slaughter a hog, everybody in the neighborhood got something. My dad had a garden, and now I guess you would say a field, because now it's gardens, but then back then it was fields. And he planted everything that we ate. Very few things that we had to go to the grocery store to buy. My mother sewed our clothes. She was a seamstress and a very giving, loving person. I wish I was half as loving and giving as my mother was, beautiful inside and out. As I said, I went to Mobile County Training School, grades 1 through 12. And from there, I worked a year at International Paper Company before I wanted to go to nursing school. I've always been one that wanted to serve others. And from there was the closest school for LPNs was in Selma, Alabama. We were poor, but did not realize we were poor because we had so much love and such giving in our family. So my parents could not afford to send me to Selma, Alabama. So the public school system of Mobile opened up a school for LPNs. And that was only 2 classes. There was an LPN school for LPNs, but it was for white. It was Southwest on Dauphin Island Parkway. The blacks was not allowed to attend. So when the public school system opened up this class for LPNs for 1 year, I don't to this day remember how I heard about it, but I did hear about it, and I was able to attend. And the school was housed partially at Williamson High School in Maysville. We met under trees. We met at the old city hospital that was on the corner of Broad and St. Anthony Street. And most of the time our classes was held in the operating room if they were on the inside after they finished with surgery. And we worked 12-hour shifts from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And in that way, we got the patients ready for breakfast in the morning, which was referred to as AM care. And we got them ready for bedtime, which was PM care. And it was very grueling, very hard, but we survived, and it made me a better nurse. At that time at City Hospital, the nuns ran the hospital. And it was segregation from every floor with the exception of the operating room. I can't remember whether the recovery room was segregated, but there was colored male, colored female, white female, colored pediatrics, white pediatrics. Once I graduated from LPN school, I went to work at Mobile Infirmary. No, I'm sorry. I went to work at Providence Hospital that was on the corner of Spring Hill Avenue and Ann Street. And they had one wing there for black patients. It was called One West. And the black nurses took care of the black patients. White nurses took care of the white patients. Unless they were short on the floor and needed more help, then they would pull the best nurse from One West and put them on the other parts of the hospital. From Providence Hospital, I went to work at the VA in Gulfport, Mississippi. No, I went to work at Brooklyn Air Force Base. I worked there until Brooklyn Air Force Base phased out. Once it closed, I went to work for the VA in Gulfport. Married and having a family, I decided that it was too much. And I came back to work to Mobile. I went to work at USA, that is now University Hospital. And I worked on the 5th floor there. 5th floor was a catch-all floor that we got the worst of everything. Then Bishop State opened up the program that for ADN degree for an LPN. So I was not accepted in the first class, but I was accepted in the second class. And I went to Bishop. I worked full-time. I was a full-time mother. My mother and my dad was ill, and I had a brother that was ill at that time. I did it, but God. When it was time for the state board, I was not able to take state board, and Dr. Marion Carroll wrote a letter to the board stating because of the stress that I had been under, that it was not feasible for me to take boards at that time. So they gave me a license for another year until the next setting for the boards, and I went and I did pass boards at that time. I came back, I worked at USA, which is now University Hospital. From USA, I went to work at Searcy Hospital in Mount Vernon, and that was where I really found my niche at Searcy. That was most rewarding nursing of my career, because I would see the people come in so sick, and then once they got on medicine, they would leave able to function. I retired from Searcy Hospital in 2000. Since 2000, I have been doing community work and things that I can do, to help mankind and help my community any way that I can. I am a member of the Union Baptist Church that is on, it was Bay Bridge Road, it's Africa Town Boulevard now. At one point, I was chair of the First Aiders. I was on the usher board, a Sunday school teacher. I enjoy living. I am the mother of 3 children, 1 daughter, 2 sons. I have 5 granddaughters. I have 5 great-grands. I am a servant to others. I enjoy doing what I am doing. I am a founder member of Africatown Heritage Preservation Foundation and a representative on Africatown Redevelopment Committee from the foundation board. I thank you. I have 1 brother and 1 sister that is still alive. Myself and the brother that is alive are twice survivor of cancer. Two of my brothers that deceased died of cancer. One of my sisters died of heart disease and the other one with cancer-related diseases. Thank you. That's my story.
Thank you, Ms. Ballard. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
What had happened, I guess last week I posted an article on pre-existing condition and a misdiagnosed. Oprah reported that she went to the hospital. They came up to the conclusion that she had a heart problem and her problem of thyroid. Okay. And so this would happen to black folks because sometimes the doctors have preconceived ideas about us, so they don't give us the right diagnosis. Mm-hmm. And this morning, as I was getting ready to come to Miss Ballard, Oprah had an article that she printed on infectious disease. She said nearly 33% confirmed corona cases hail from black community as U.S. government data, despite African Americans making only 13% of the country population. She went on to say that it was crucial for black people to comprehend pre-existing conditions that include diabetes, asthma, that heighten their risk of contraction. The reason why African Americans may be harder hit by the virus than the rest was explained by Surgeon Jerome Adams, who said that ethnic minorities are at greater risk owing to their pre-existing health issues. So what I'm just saying to the black community, you need to wear your mask because that virus hasn't left here yet. So please wear your mask. And I want to thank Ms. Ballard for providing this information about her experience here in Africatown. Anything else, Ms.
Yes. I would like to add this. I grew up in the area when International Paper Company was here, and Scott Paper Company, and I must give credit to Reverend Christopher Williams, who is pastor of Yorktown. When Reverend Williams came to Plateau, there were so many deaths in the area, and as I said, my sister that is deceased, and 3 brothers have had cancer. I've had, and up to that point, and we talked to our parents, we could find no history where cancer was anywhere in our genetics. So I'm saying is, I cannot say for a fact, but I know of the pollution that was from International Paper Company, from Scott Paper Company. My mother would wash the clothes depending upon which way the wind blew. If the wind was blowing a certain way, you had to run out, take the clothes in. If you didn't, black, brown spots would be all over the clothes. You would have to rewash them. The odor was horrendous, and they had a car wash. If you had a car, your car did not last any more than 2 years. And within those 2 years, it was rusted. And they had car washes. The community could go through the car washes day or night as many times as you wanted to. And Reverend Williams tried to do a survey to see if any of the chemicals that was left from International, because when International left, they did not excavate anything from their site. They just pulled up and left when EPA told them they had to clean up the site. I cannot say my cancer, my siblings' cancer came from the chemicals that was dumped, but there was no history in our family. I have diabetes. I've had to have my thyroid. I have to take a supplement because I do not have thyroid any longer. And I also have high blood pressure, you name it. Diabetes, high blood pressure. I've had cancer. So, I just wonder why. And I feel that the people of the Black community have been dumped on for so long. Yes, I had both my vaccines for corona. I had not had my booster, wearing my mask, wearing gloves anytime I went out. How I contacted the disease, I do not know. I did test positive. I only had mild symptoms. When I could get my booster, I had my booster. In fact, I've had 2 boosters since then. Anything I can do to protect myself, I am, and I am still wearing my mask and taking every precautions I can.
That's it. Thank you, Miss Ballard. Thank you for this
Okay.
information.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. I hope that was helpful.